pretty amazing for any company to survive 100 years.
For me, when I grew up at Sikorsky, Mr. Sikorsky used to like to walk around the drawing boards to see what was going on. And I remember the first time he came to my drawing board and he addressed me as Mr. Leone. 3 or 4 times a month he would walk by to see what was going on. He was an absolute gentleman, an incredible person, a person who I never will forget.
I stay working at Sikorsky because we have the best workforce in the world. When I've seen us pull together as a team, we have accomplished insurmountable tasks and goals and pride that comes with the product. And of course, without fail, our customers.
Sikorsky's reputation is not made alone in the factory. It's also made out in the field by the crews that service them and by the people that fly them.
As a retired Air Force member, and specifically combat search and rescue, it was comforting to know that when we launched out on a mission, we were getting the patient or whomever was in trouble, being able to bring them home and get us home safely. And we never questioned the capability of the aircraft.
How we innovate is people and customers coming to Sikorsky with their problems, their challenges in flight and in their countries, and we take those and we create solutions.
I'm excited and I'm proud when I see a Sikorsky helicopter in the news. We've had Firehawks putting out fires, and this is happening every year. We have S-92s out rescuing people in Norway. We have priority and we focus on safety and quality for our customers and the people who utilize our products.
We have a lot of tools today that Igor Sikorsky didn't have. We have simulators and we have detailed models of the aircraft, or digital twin, if you will. We have these tools that allow a level of safety that you didn't have 100 years ago.
We've seen exponential growth within the company with our fly-by-wire systems, our new innovations technologies with the coaxial rotor and future vertical lift, the fully autonomous OPV aircraft. I think that our innovations are going to continue to grow.
So the kind of things we develop actually let you fly in bad weather, in all sorts of weather, and the autonomy system actually keeps the pilot safe. Pilot jobs are not going away, but we certainly are going to see the flexibility of flying with one pilot, no pilot, and maybe just an operator in the back. Obviously, more composite, more electric, and really more flying computers in the.
I'm so proud to lead this team because Sikorsky is really an icon.
It means reputation that precedes the name, and it ultimately means a sense of community that not many people understand, but most will get once you're in it.
All the pride that we have in what we do here every day and what we create, what we make, is valid.
It's a national treasure for the innovation that we brought forward over the last 100 years and will continue to bring forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Vertical Flight Society's 79th Annual Grand Awards Ceremony. I'm Mike Hirschberg, your outgoing Executive Director, and I want to thank you for coming to Forum 79. We're trying out this new format again with having a awards breakfast instead of a dinner, and we hope you all enjoy it. We're very interested in your feedback on all aspects of the forum, and in particular, this morning's award program, to decide if we should continue this as our new tradition. I'm pleased to say we have a pretty much sold-out crowd here of about 512 seats. There are a few extra seats if anybody is left standing. The annual forum has proven itself again to be the biggest and best vertical flight technical event in the world, with more than 260 technical papers presented this week, nearly 50 invited speakers, 69 exhibitors, and nearly 1,200 attendees. We really appreciate everyone's enthusiasm for advancing vertical flight and supporting VFS. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Sikorsky, for this 79th Annual Grand Awards Breakfast. We appreciate so much the support of all of our sponsors and exhibitors who believe in the mission of the Vertical Flight Society and without whom the forum would not be possible. At this time, I'd like to invite Steve Schmidt, Sikorsky's Vice President of Engineering, to give a welcome. Steve?
Good morning, everyone. I think they need to get the older picture of me up there. But what a great time that we come together today. I trust that you're enjoying the forum and your time in West Palm Beach. I'd like to welcome you to the Grand Awards breakfast. What a great time that we can celebrate the exciting accomplishments of our members. I wanted to talk a little bit about the 80th anniversary of Vertical Flight Society, then American Helicopter Society, and I phoned a friend in order to do that. And this was someone who was around at that time. It was someone who flew on the VS-300, which was Igor's first single main rotor helicopter. And that person, of course, is Sergei Sikorsky, Igor's oldest son. So Sergei was a mechanic at Sikorsky, and his job was to grease up the VS-300 before each flight. And he knew he was seeing something very revolutionary. He accepted rides on the VS-300, and what they used to do was C-clamp a board to the airframe, and he would sit on the board. Or once in a while, he would ride on the landing gear, so you won't see that very often today. Igor is now 98 years old. He's living in Arizona with his wife, Elena, and he sends his greetings and his congratulations to the society. So the story he told me was when the society was formed, several engineers went into Igor's office, and they had the charter. And they had a slogan. They thought it was going to be all about engineers. It was for engineers, by engineers, of engineers. So Igor listened patiently to their pitch. And he said with a smile, well, I'm sorry, I can't be part of your society. And the reason is I never got my engineering degree. He had left the University of Kiev in Ukraine before he actually got the degree to start building his aircraft. So of course, with a bit of embarrassment and panic, the engineers scurried out of his office, came back with the revised charter that anybody could join. And what I enjoyed about that story was just the spirit of inclusiveness that we enjoy today as a society, because all members, they contribute, and it's great to have so many people part of the VFS. So you can read the story yourself. It's all up on the website. I enjoyed reading it. You can read about the first dinner meeting in Philly, the order of events. You can read all the great names that helped form our society, great names like Arthur Young, Alexander Kleiman, Captain William Kostler, Frank Piasecki. And one thing we all have in common is that our cooperation, collaboration were essential to advancing vertical flight. Now, there was one quote that Igor had I thought was fitting for the forum, and it was, "In the course of your work, you will from time to time encounter the situation where the facts and the theory do not coincide. In such circumstances, it is my earnest advice to respect the facts." I had one more assignment from Sergei, and that was to recognize Mike Hirschberg for his 12 years as executive director of Society. Mike, you have worked tirelessly to attract new members, to bring on new corporate members, recognizing advances in technology, bringing on our eVTOL partners. And so Sergei wanted to sign a copy of the Sikorsky aircraft centennial for you, so he personally signed it, and we wanted to give it to you today. Thank you for your service.
Wow, that was really nice and unexpected. So we do have copies of this, I think, at the VFS store. He said tirelessly. Well, some people maybe say tiredly, which is why we're having the handoff today. So, Steve, thanks. That was great. I couldn't have written that myself. Thanks again to Sikorsky, a Lockheed Martin company. I forgot to say that earlier, for supporting VFS and sponsoring this Grand Awards program. So I hope this forum is meeting your expectations. It only happens through the countless hours of hundreds of people who unselfishly volunteer their time, such as members of the Technical Council and the technical committees, the chairs and co-chairs of 41 technical sessions, 9 special sessions, more than 100 student volunteers, some 75 chairs and co-chairs, and many, many others. Special shout out goes to the members of the VFS South Florida chapter who volunteered their time in supporting the forum this week. And of course, a special thanks to our hundreds of authors and co-authors who provide the core technical content of the forum. But coordination of all these efforts, of all these volunteers, would not be possible if not for the very small but extremely dedicated VFS headquarters staff who handle all the behind-the-scenes details that make the forum possible. So if you see someone with a green staff ribbon, please tell them what you think about this year's forum. Julie, David, Valerie, Randy, Betty, and Alka. That's 7 people. Thank you so much for all your efforts in putting together another incredible forum. So Valerie, our membership director, will be assisting with the presentation of the award today, and you saw she already did that. She gave me an award, so how about that? In addition to our professional staff, I want to recognize VFS members, Dr. Cliff Smith and Dr. Anita Tracy, for their decades of dedicated support of all the audio-video needs of the forum. I think Cliff said it was like his 30th forum. And Dan Gettinger of the VFS staff is our scriptwriter and MC for the banquet, while John M. Davis is the author of the general session script and exhibit hall announcements, as well as the voice you hear in the exhibit hall, the voice of God. And Warren Liebman is our videographer and video producer for the event. So thank you, Warren, and thank you to all of our adjunct staff. So now the Vertical Flight Society would like to present its 2023 Membership Awards, recognizing those who have been the most active recruiters of new members between April 1st of last year and March 31st of this year. We're very pleased to make this morning to make an award to Professor David Peters of Washington University in St. Louis. Dr. Peters signed up 41 new VFS members over the past year, winning the VFS Membership Award. In addition, since he recruited more than 20 members, Dave got free registration at the forum, free airfare, and free hotel this week. Next year, we'll be in Montreal to celebrate our 80th annual forum. And for that exciting event, we'll once again offer individuals who sponsors the most new members over the next year free attendance to the forum. If that winner secures 20 or more new members, they'll also get free airfare and hotel to Montreal. We were supposed to go there in 2020, and because of the pandemic, it was delayed. We're very happy to be going there this year. Now we do this. Yeah. All right. All right, don't go away. We're very pleased to announce that the VSF chapter with the largest net increase in members is the VFS Dayton Great Lakes chapter, with an increase of 133 new members. In addition, this chapter is also the winner of the VSF chapter percent increase, growing by more than 150%. Wow. Representing the chapter is the U.S. Midwest Regional Director David Peters and Regional Vice President Dr. Charlie Savoda. They say there's strength in numbers, and that surely is true with VFS membership. You members are the society. Without you, VFS is just an idea. So we very much appreciate your help to provide lift to VFS. These membership awards recognize those of you who have gone over and above with your support of the society and our collective efforts to ensure a vibrant, robust membership. So congratulations to our membership contest winner and the Dayton Great Lakes chapter. So thank you for all your efforts to support VFS. A special thanks to Valerie for her tireless efforts to promote and manage all aspects of membership attraction, retention, and benefits. So give another hand to her and all everyone for their great work. All right. So now I want to introduce Dr. Mahendra Bhagwat of the U.S. Army Combat Capabilities Development Command, the Society's technical director. Mahendra?
Hey, good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to ask the Forum 79 Chair, Professor Mark White, to be recognized for his prodigious efforts in pulling together this great forum. So being a forum technical chair is a lot of work, as you can imagine. We have hundreds of authors, several technical committees. Pulling all that together is a lot of effort, and Mike devoted a tremendous amount of time and effort over the past year to make the forum the great forum and the great success that it is. Mike worked with the VFS headquarters, our 22 technical committees, and hundreds of authors to create the fantastic technical program that we have, and that is the hallmark of our annual forum. So Mike, thank you. Next, we have the Robert L. Lichten Award. The Lichten Award is given to the author of a technical paper which has not been previously presented at a national technical conference. The winner this year is Jess Bayer, I should say US Air Force Second Lieutenant Jessica Bayer from Penn State University. Jess, please come forward. Yeah. So Jess is a US Air Force officer who's heading to flight school, or I should say vertical flight school. She's worried about vibrations naturally, and her paper was titled Individual Blade Pitch Control, or IBC, for vibration control of lift offset coaxial rotor vehicles and aux propulsion. She presented her paper yesterday in Dynamics 1 session. Hope you got to catch it. Otherwise, go look up the paper and read and ask her questions. Jessica, we are really pleased to recognize you with this award and hope this leads to greater things in your career.
Thanks, Mahendra. Now the Vertical Flight Society is pleased to announce this year's class of Diversiflight Scholars. VFS created the Diversified Scholars Program last year to encourage more engineering students from underserved demographics to consider careers in vertical flight to meet the future needs of our industry. We invited any engineering or pre-engineering student at a U.S.-recognized minority-serving institution to apply for an all-expenses paid trip to the forum, and competitively selected those who had the most passion for our mission in advancing vertical flight. Now I'd like to invite Yassine Alalak, Felicia Trebian, and Esther Varga to the stage to receive their recognition. Yassine is an aeronautical sciences student at the University of Delaware State, at Delaware State University. A first-generation college student, Yassine has been passionate about aviation since he took his first commercial airline flight at age 6. He joined the Air Force Junior ROTC and Civil Air Patrol in high school and earned his private pilot's license at Delaware State. Yassine hopes to become a military aviator after college. Felicia is working on her just completed her Bachelor of Applied Science in Information Technology at Navajo Technical University in Crown Point, New Mexico. A first-generation college student who has gone back to school as an adult, Felicia is eager to take advantage of the experience of the forum so she can bring back what she learns to her community as an engineer and teacher. Esty is an aerospace engineering student at Virginia Polytechnical Institute and State University, Virginia Tech. Just earned her bachelor's degree this weekend and expects and is working on a master's degree program. And she is now, we believe, the first Hungarian female aerospace engineer. She's also extremely active in helping and inspire others to pursue careers in STEM and aerospace. So congratulations to all of you, and I hope this week has given you the inspiration, career, and connections for a great career in vertical flight and engineering. So now to VFF. The Vertical Flight Foundation was established in 1967 as a philanthropic arm of the then American Helicopter Society. Since 1977, this merit-based scholarship program has been a great success. 667 scholarships have been awarded that time, with NASA's Dr. Bill Warmbrodt as our first VFF recipient in 1977. The program has been greatly expanded after 2011 when I started, now with nearly 300 VFF scholarships totaling nearly $1 million in the past 12 years. Next chart. There we go. So a huge thank you to those who've made donations to the VFF over the past year. And if you haven't contributed recently, please consider making a donation. VFS covers all the administrative costs for VFF, so 100% of your donation goes towards scholarships. With your help, we've been able to keep our endowment well-funded while tripling our annual scholarship awards, but we could do so much more. As you see the students coming up on the stage in a few minutes, consider making a donation to help preserve the memory of some of the icons of our industry who've passed away, or to honor someone who touched your life. 3 years ago, the estate of Robert Head, one of our members, donated nearly $1 million to VFF. This year, several notable members passed away, and friends and colleagues donated to fund scholarships in their name to honor their legacy, as shown here. I know our incoming Executive Director, Angela Collins, would like to increase the size and number of awards, but VFS needs your help. If you're so moved, please consider donating to help support the next generation of vertical flight leaders. Next year's students will greatly appreciate it. Now I'd like to turn the podium over to Andy Keith, Chair of the VFF Scholarship Committee, for the presentation of this year's VFF Awards.
Good morning. Each year, the Society's Vertical Flight Foundation awards merit-based scholarships to students entering or immersed in a rotorcraft education. First, I'd like to recognize the members of the Scholarship Selection Committee who performed the difficult task of selecting the outstanding students this year to receive the scholarships. Raj Singh, Cliff Smith, and Tony Gardner. Thank you. I served as chair of the selection committee, and I would also like to give special thanks to Jeff Sinsay and Julie Gibbs for their huge support. This year, the Vertical Flight Society is awarding 22 Vertical Flight Foundation scholarships in 3 categories totaling $100,000, as Mike said. These students are our future leaders of vertical flight. The names of the winners who are unable to be here are included in the list I will read and on the slides up here on the sides. As I announce the recipients, please hold your applause until the last awardee is announced so all the names can be heard. The bachelor degree scholars in alphabetical order are Peter Capozoli, University of Maryland; Connor Elliott, Texas A&M University; Allison Mendoza, University of Pittsburgh; Gabrielle Shoemaker, University of Maryland; Audrey Wallalong, Georgia Institute of Technology. The master's degree scholar, there's more. The master's degree scholars in alphabetical order are Catherine Catraboni, University of Maryland; Joseph Kiley Hemerall, Texas A&M University; Isabella Mowry, the Pennsylvania State University; Brendan Oates, Georgia Institute of Technology; Nathan O'Brien, University of Maryland; Vivek Upur, University of Maryland; Zoel Wang, Georgia Institute of Technology. And our apologies to Nathan O'Brien, University of Maryland, who received the Alfred Gesso Scholarship, who was accidentally left out of your program, but did get a scholarship. And finally, the doctoral degree students in alphabetical order are Shreya Sashak, Georgia Institute of Technology; Christopher Axton, the Penn State University; Victoria Britcher, University of Maryland; Lydia Karras-Rocco, Imperial College of London; Hunter Denton, Texas A&M University; Ashira Singh Galat, Georgia Institute of Technology; Colleen Murray, University of Maryland; Shivani Patel, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. And if the students could come up as we call. Katrina Prabrowski, Warsaw Institute of Technology; and Elena Sotropoulos, Georgia Institute of Technology. Congratulations. Each of the Bachelor and Master scholarships includes a cash award of $4,000, and doctoral scholarship winners each receive $5,000. In addition, the top graduate candidates have special recognition. Hunter Denton of Texas A&M will receive $6,000 for the Bell Textron Scholarship, while Ashriya Singh Galat of Georgia Tech was selected for the $6,000 Dr. Jing Yen Scholarship for Cost Awareness. I'd like to ask all our winners to stay on the stage for a few minutes so we can get a group photo. For the rest of you now, please enjoy your breakfast. We'll continue the awards program around 8:30. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed your breakfast. Before we begin the rest of the awards, I'd like to ask you to direct your attention to the screens while we honor a few of our members who've passed away over the past year or so. It's been a tough year as we've lost a number of notable leaders in vertical flight from around the world, several of whom we've just honored with scholarships for this year. So please observe a moment of silence. Thank you. As we stand on the shoulders of the giants before us, let us remember to give a helping hand to those who are the future. That's what our society is all about, working together and lifting each other up to advance vertical flight. Before we start with the VFS awards, the first recognition is actually an award jointly sponsored by the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, AIAA, the American Society of Mechanical Engineers, ASME, SAE International, and VFS. The Daniel Guggenheim Medal was first established in 1929 to honor innovators who made notable achievements in the advancement of aeronautics. The first winner was Orville Wright, and recipients of the Guggenheim Medal are among the greatest names in aerospace, including names like Ludwig Prandtl, Juan de la Cierva, Bill Boeing, Larry Bell, Igor Sikorsky, and Charles Lindbergh. We are so pleased to have the opportunity to present the award to this year's recipient, Wayne Johnson. Dr. Johnson, will you please come forward? The Daniel Guggenheim Medal Board of Award recognizes Wayne Johnson's landmark contributions to vertical flight aeronautics and resulting computational codes enabling the design of tilt-rotor aircraft, electric vertical takeoff and landing, or eVTOL aircraft, the Mars helicopter ingenuity. In a career that has spanned more than 5 decades, Wayne's contributions span analysis, design, testing, flight, and academic endeavors for every class of VTOL aircraft. The award nominator, Dr. Bill Warmbrodt, noted, his energy, knowledge, and willingness to work with many different people and organizations around the world has benefited not just the international rotorcraft technical community, but has also had significant positive impact on those who have had the pleasure and privilege of working with Dr. Johnson and learn from him. The vertical flight community and the Vertical Flight Society would not be as successful as they are today without Wayne's epic contributions. So thank you, Dr. Johnson, and congratulations. All right, so at this time, I'd like to present your host for the rest of this morning, Tomasz Grzinski of Airbus Helicopters, and this year's Chair of the Board of the Vertical Flight Society. Tomasz?
Thank you, Mike. Dear colleagues, dear friends, we have a very rich schedule for this award ceremony, and I would like to point out that it's a very important moment in our society to recognize the people who did something for rotary wings, okay, and who showed the entrepreneurship, the risk-taking, the courage, the cleverness, and we have 79 years tradition in it. So it's excellent moment. And it is really the heart of our society. And I am really very pleased to introduce this prestigious award program. So the first, I would like to recognize members of Society Award Committee, Mahendra Beckwet, VFS Technical Director, Dr. Miriam Kosholai, Industry Representative, Dr. Jürgen Rulander, Academic Representative, and Robert Scott, Government Representative. So as a chair of the board, I served as a chair of the award committee, but it was for me enormous pleasure to participate in the selection, to read all these proposal letters, hundreds of endorsement, letters of recommendation. It shows really the force of the society and really the way we want to recognize, continue this 80 years tradition of rotary wings. I would like to introduce Dan Gettiker, Director of Publication and Communication VFS, who will serve as a master of the ceremony, announcing the winner and why I present the award. So he will do the job, I will just give the word. So please come to the podium.
Thank you, Tomasz. This year, the awards committee has bestowed the Alexander A. Nikolsky Honorary Lectureship on Dr. Serge Germanetti, Executive Expert for Avionics at Airbus Helicopters. Dr. Germanetti, would you please come forward? I hope you were able to hear him give the 43rd Annual Nikolsky Lecture on Tuesday. It was entitled 50 Years of Innovation, Reducing Helicopter Workload and Enhancing Safety by Helping Pilots Manage Performance. Today we honor Dr. Germanetti with the Nikolsky Medallion and Certificate. As noted in the introduction to his lecture on Tuesday, Dr. Germanetti's technical and leadership accomplishments over his distinguished career have been comprehensive and numerous. Over the past 4 decades, Dr. Germanetti has made major contributions to the broader helicopter community, presenting numerous papers in international forums, including technical papers at multiple VFS conferences. He served for many years on the VFS Systems Engineering Technical Committee, including as its chair. The owner of more than 20 patents related to avionics systems and enhancing fleet safety, Germanetti is considered the father of helionics, the full avionics suite equipping the Airbus civil range of helicopters. Thank you, Dr. Germanetti, and congratulations. The recipient of the Paul E. Hauter Award is Alex Stoll of Joby Aviation for his contributions to electric flight. Alex tragically died in February. His award is accepted by Alex's parents, Mark and Lynn Stoll, and Dr. Gregor Webel Mikic, Joby Aviation's flight research lead. Would you please join us on the stage? Alex Stoll was a pioneer of electric flight and low-noise propulsion. Joby's first full-time employee, Alex served as Joby's aeromechanics lead and developed a comprehensive system optimization model that resulted in the Joby electric VTOL air taxi designs. In doing so, Stoll changed the course of history with his contribution to developing a practical eVTOL aircraft. Stoll was the co-inventor on 21 patents and a co-author of numerous technical papers. In addition to his technical achievements, Stoll was an active officer in the VFS San Francisco Bay Area chapter, a founding member of the VFS Hydrogen eVTOL Council, and a regular attendee at VFS's symposia and annual forum. He staffed the VFS booth at the Go Fly Fly-Off on February 29, 2020, interacting with kids and adults interested in learning more about VFS and vertical flight. We've asked Gregor to say a few words about Alex.
Thank you so much. Well, Alex, first of all, was a very dear friend, always so welcoming, always living his life to the fullest. He was the most wonderful colleague, spent many hours teaching people, engaging in wonderful discussions, and just working with everybody, enjoying work. And of course, a visionary, and this is what we're celebrating here today, a pioneer in his field. He was remarkable in his relentless pursuit of truth and always going back to fundamental principles, which is what allowed him to just be so creative and create this new type of vehicles and creating a new industry along with that. And we'll be forever grateful for him for that. So thank you, Alex, for having paved the way, and it's up on us to complete your vision and making eVTOL a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Gregor. Alex left us far too soon. The next honors are the VFS Technical Fellows. As I call your name, please step forward to be recognized. Oliver Dietrich, Senior Expert Rotorcraft Dynamics at Airbus Helicopter. Dr. Rajneesh Singh, Team Lead, U.S. Army Combat Capabilities Development Command's Army Research Laboratory. Professor Joseph F. Horn, Professor of Aerospace Engineering, the Pennsylvania State University. Dr. Baron G. van der Waal, Senior Expert Rotorcraft, the German Aerospace Center. Oliver Dietrich is recognized for his exceptional contributions to the field of applied helicopter dynamics and vibrations, computational and experimental dynamics, and aeromechanics. Dr. Rajneesh Singh is recognized for his body of work in advancing vertical flight sciences with research contributions in computational aeromechanics, strategic leadership for expanding collaborations, assembling teams for transformative research, and mentoring the future workforce. Professor Joseph F. Horn is recognized for 30 years of sustained excellence and leadership in research, teaching, and service to the vertical flight community, specifically in the areas of flight controls, simulation, handling qualities, and aeromechanics. Dr. Baron G. van der Waal is recognized for advancing rotary wing technology through technical leadership and research, in progressing comprehensive simulation code capabilities, while pushing forward the understanding of unsteady airfoil aerodynamics, blade vortex interaction, the effect of higher harmonic control on BVI and vibration, and using experimental and analytic approaches. We would also like to note that each of these individuals, our newest technical fellows, have made significant contributions to the success of VFS over many years. So thank you and congratulations. Our next award is the François Xavier Bagnot Award, which recognizes outstanding contributions to vertical flight technology by a VFS member aged 35 or younger. The winner of this year is Dr. Natasha Schatzman of NASA Ames. Dr. Schatzman, please come forward. Dr. Schatzman is recognized for her outstanding vertical lift research, internationally recognized in rotorcraft acoustics and full-scale wind tunnel acoustics testing, for extensive contributions to the VFS technical community and local VFS San Francisco Bay Area chapter, and for outstanding mentorship in the rotorcraft field. Natasha, it gives VFS great pleasure to present you with this award today. Next, the Grover E. Bell Award. This year's recipient is the Autonomous Sustainment Technologies for Rotorcraft Operations, or ASTRO, Rotors team. I would like to ask the following members to please come forward to accept the award on behalf of the team. Lou Santolanza, Jim D'Ottavio, and Taylor Kinney of the U.S. Army Combat Capabilities Development Command, and Ray Venacore and Preston Bates of Sikorsky. The Grover E. Bell Award is given for an outstanding research and experimental contribution to the field of vertical flight development. The Astro Rotors team is recognized for their experimental contribution to the development and test demonstrations of technologies for automated in-flight rotor track and balance. Congratulations to everyone on the team. The next award is the Leonardo International Fellowship Award. This year's selection is the MH139A STC International Test Team, comprised of the Boeing Company in the US and Italy's Leonardo. The award will be accepted by Craig Hofstein and David Andrew of the Boeing Company, and Pietro Sabato and Alessandro Caffaro of Leonardo. Together, the MH139A STC International Test Team executed flight testing in support of the MH139A expanded envelope amid challenging programmatic and schedule constraints. The test planning and development effort involved a year of technical collaboration between Boeing engineers in Philadelphia, Seattle, and Leonardo engineers in Italy and the UK. We thank all the members of the MH139 STC International Test Team for their contributions to international cooperation and collaboration. Now the Robert L. Pinckney Award. It goes to the Data Collection Electronic Logging System, or DCELS, deployment team at the Boeing Company. I invite the following individuals to please come forward: Mike Freeberry, Hope Bennett, Basilio Benuelas, and Liz Morris. The team successfully developed and implemented the DCELS software to connect an advanced torque tool, measurement system, and other hand tools directly to a records-keeping system. The streamlined process facilitated significant time savings and the removal of a second inspector, saving the Apache helicopter program nearly $700,000 annually. Congratulations. Next is the Harry T. Jensen Award. It is presented to the Sikorsky's 5G radar altimeter team. I invite Nicholas Kefalas of the Lockheed Martin Company to please come forward to accept the award on behalf of the team. Working with the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, the 5G Task Force, and other U.S. government agencies, associations, and radar altimeter manufacturers, the Sikorsky Lockheed Martin 5G radar altimeter team made several breakthrough innovations towards mitigating the 5G radar altimeter interference issue. This has contributed to the safe operation of both fixed-wing and rotary-wing aircraft in the United States airspace. Our next award is the Frederick L. Feinberg Award, presented to the vertical flight aircraft pilot or crew who demonstrated outstanding skills or achievement during the preceding calendar year. Sponsored by the Command Corporation, the award honors the memory of an outstanding helicopter test pilot and an exemplary person. In addition to sponsoring the award, Command provides a monetary award to the winners. I would like to invite Philip Murphy of Command Aerospace Corporation on the stage to present the award. This year's award goes to Alexander Neuhaus and Antoine Van Gent of Airbus Helicopters. I'd like to invite Carl Okier of Airbus Helicopters to the stage to accept the award on their behalf. Alexander Neuhaus and Antoine Van Gent are recognized for the exceptional achievement of landing the Airbus H-145 five-bladed prototype helicopter on the highest summit of America, the Aconcagua, which reaches a height of 6,962 meters. This achievement sets an unprecedented milestone for twin-engine helicopters in a particularly challenging high-altitude certification campaign environment. It gives VFS great pleasure to recognize Alexander Neuhaus and Antoine Van Gent with the Society's Frederick L. Feinberg Award. The next award is the John J. Schneider Historical Achievement Award. This year's recipient is Arthur W. Linden, the former Boeing Sikorsky Comanche Program Director. Arthur, would you please come to the stage? In addition to a long career advancing vertical flight and publishing technical and historical papers, Arthur Linden is recognized for the seminal historical book, The RAH-66 Comanche Helicopter, Technical Accomplishments, Program Frustration. Published last year after nearly a decade of work in conceptualizing, organizing, and writing the story of this extraordinary machine, the most advanced helicopter of its day. Thank you, Arthur, for these extremely important efforts. And now the Vertical Flight Heritage Site Award. This program is intended to recognize and preserve locations with the most noteworthy and significant contributions made in both the theory and practice of helicopter and other VTOL aircraft technology. This year, the committee selected the Sikorsky's Development Flight Center in West Palm Beach, Florida. The award will be accepted by Phil Aldridge of Sikorsky. The site is recognized for its 46-year history of planning and safe conduct of development and qualification flight tests associated with new or substantially modified aircraft and systems. Dozens of significant research, development, and certification programs have been conducted at this site. A large bronze plaque, which weighs 35 pounds, will be installed later this year in ceremonies recognizing Development Flight Center as an official vertical flight heritage site. The next award is the Captain William J. Kostler Award, which is given for the greatest achievement in practical application or operation of a vertical flight aircraft, the value of which has been demonstrated during the preceding year. This year, the awards committee has selected two recipients, one from the U.S. Army and one from the U.S. Coast Guard. The committee recognizes the 382nd General Support Aviation Battalion Task Force Talon, Chief Warrant Officer 4 Sid Hartzell, and Chief Warrant Officer 3 Terrence Bailey from the U.S. Army, please come forward to accept the award on behalf of the crew. The 382nd General Support Aviation Battalion Task Force Talon crew is recognized for the rescue of nearly 10,000 persons during the evacuation of Kabul under enemy fire in August 2021. Thank you. The committee also recognizes the crew of the U.S. Coast Guard Rescue Helicopter 6036. Let me invite Shane Moore and Andrew Thomas of the U.S. Coast Guard and John Rucci of Sikorsky to accept the award. The crew of the U.S. Coast Guard Rescue Helicopter 6036 is recognized for the rescue and evacuation of two fishing vessel Glory in February 22, sinking in Sitka Sound, Alaska, under heavy rain, fog, and 55-knot winds with violent downdrafts.
These cases are ones that make you start to question your own capability.
Requested for the bow, if you guys think you can do that.
Man, I don't know. I was at home eating dinner with my family. All the pilots received a text message.
I was very direct, saying that there were two people with a boat taking on water 10 to 12 miles south of town. I looked at my wife and asked her if I could go fly, and she said, go save them.
After we took off, it's very low ceilings, very low visibility at night. And once we got on scene, the hardest part was you have the vessels up against rocks. And then the winds were extremely gusty off the mountain. The hoisting was quite difficult due to the fact that we had to get the swimmer down first. And then there was a whole bunch of rigging because it was a trolling vessel.
Give me a troll line to the bow, and we'll get the basket in here.
We do training all the time. We train over boats, but quite often those conditions are, even if not optimal, they're not terrible. So when you get into these real cases, it just seems to always be a little bit worse. So hardest part was, one, getting the basket into the correct spot, but then again, getting the basket out of there. And
Putting two bodies in, I'm the hole in the tail line, it'll give us a hoist.
Please stand and thank the U.S. Army and U.S. Coast Guard air crews for their heroic accomplishments. Our final recognition today is for Honorary Fellow. This is a status granted to society members whose career-based leadership, vision, or other contributions have advanced significantly the interests of the vertical flight community. The Honorary Fellow was the first award created by the fledgling American Helicopter Society in 1944, and the first recipients were Igor Sikorsky and Colonel Frank Gregory of the U.S. Army. This year's VFS Honorary Fellow recognition is awarded to two individuals, Robert Hood of Quartech Engineering Services and Thomas Krasinski of Airbus Helicopters. I would like to invite to the stage Dr. Arvind Sinha of the University of Melbourne to accept the award on behalf of Robert Hood. Robert Hood is recognized for over nearly half a century of contributions to the Rotorcraft community and aerospace sector at large, to his local VFS Australia chapter, to the education of the next generation of Rotorcraft engineers at the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology, and as the technical chair for a number of VFS Australian Pacific conferences. Thomas Krasinski is recognized for his technical excellence and visionary leadership over 35 years in the development of advanced rotorcraft, including today's racer compound helicopter for the Clean Aviation Joint Undertaking, as well as authoring 2 books, 18 VFS and European Rotorcraft Forum technical papers, and 12 patents. His mentorship of generations of new engineering leaders, including 26 PhD students, and the leadership of the VFS Board of Directors. Congratulations to Robert and Tomas on becoming the Society's newest honorary fellows. That completes the presentation of awards this morning. Now, traditionally, this is the part of the awards ceremony when we hold the passing of the gavel ceremony from the outgoing chair of the board to the incoming chair. This year, the board executive committee is staying on as we transition to a new executive director. For that, I will turn the program back to Tomas.
Well, I would just, Mike stopped me when I wanted to make the comment, you know. So helicopter for saving lives, we cannot replace them. Huh? So I was very happy that we were collectively recognizing it. So just a small comment. Well, so before we proceed, I want to thank you, VFS staff. Huh? So first, Mike, without your entrepreneurship, your management style, nothing would be possible. Huh? I would like to recognize also David Renzi, Director of Meeting, Randy Johnson, IT Director, Betty Chen, Academic Coordinator, Valerie Sheehan, bravo Valerie, Membership Director, Julie Gibbs, Technical Program Director, Alka Ratot, Administration and IT, Dan Gettinger, Director of Publication and Communication, who did all the job for presenting awards. But also, I would like to recognize all the committee members, chairs, presenters, board members, technical committee members, and all the volunteers who made this forum, 79 Forum, a great success. And also, Dan, a big thank you for serving a master of the ceremony. So we have the final segment of this morning's ceremony, passing the baton. Okay, so it's a bit personal. Well, when Mike called me telling that he wants to step down, I really had the difficulty to understand why such a person who was so successful during the years wanted to step down. And I had Mike, we had the discussion every day almost, for some time, okay, because it was very difficult for digest as a chair of the board. But, well, after some exchanges, I very well understood that Mike's decision was really family decision. And I fully understand and supported this. And we really made a team to prepare the succession. So Mike supported us and in a very brilliant and constructive way, guided the board through process of evaluation of 6 candidates. And anonymous decision selection was Angelo. So in my career, I participated in many selection processes, but this one really was very professional. And I was very happy to participate in this. And I think that we have is a very good society, and to have Angelo now on board. Mark was working very, very hard. And, well, Mike, you probably want to tell a few words.
Thank you, Tomasz. Thank you to everyone in this room and all of our 6,000 other members and all our past members who inspired me to go and above and beyond what I thought were my abilities. I knew the society was a special place when I first met our members nearly 30 years ago. It's been incredible. Serving for the past 12 years as your executive director has been the honor of a lifetime, but it just wasn't sustainable to continue at the pace I've been going. So it was time to bring somebody else in with new energy, new ideas for the future of VFS and the future of vertical flight. And I'm pleased to give my full support to Angelo in my new role. I'm staying on, you're not rid of me yet, as Director of Strategy. My biggest hope is to continue to support VFS to achieve new highs while cutting my hours in half to something more like 40 to 50 hours a week. And also to make sure that Angelo isn't overburdened. So with that, I would like to officially pass the baton to Angelo. Although my term officially continues to the end of this month, this ceremony will mark the transition to Angelo as the Society's newest executive director. So Angelo, there you are, and we'll get some photos here.
So Mike, we actually have something for you. There's one more award there on the corner. So this award is from the staff and the board in recognition of your service to VFS. It's a flame, it's an undying flame to symbolize your eternal legacy as a steward to the vertical flight community and the Vertical Flight Society. You'll never be forgotten, Mike, for your service to the Vertical Flight Society. So thank you so much. You get to rest. Finally, you get to sit down, Mike, and rest. All right. So everyone's been telling me that Mike has very big shoes to fill, right? So I'm thankful he's giving me a baton and not his shoes. So Mike wrote that joke. I think I'm going to write my own jokes in the future. So yeah, so being the executive director, I told the board during my interview, being the executive director of the Vertical Flight Society isn't just a job. It's a hobby, it's a lifestyle, and I'm looking forward to being a steward of the Vertical Flight Society for many years to come, supporting you all. And I truly mean that, to be a steward, to serve. I want to do anything I can to help this community. You know, we've made a lot of progress under Mike in the last, close to 80 years, and we're going to do some exceptional things in the near future. And I'm really excited, and I think I'm capable. I think it's funny. I think Mike's been molding me for this job since I was 21, and I met Mike. And I don't know if he wanted to give the job to anybody else, to be honest, since he was working pretty hard since I was a little kid. So as I said in my welcome, I start my journey as executive director, but I'm not alone, and I hope you all accompany me in this journey together. So with that, I have plenty of things to say, maybe not today, as I serve. And so with that, the 79th annual banquet has drawn to a close, and it's now time to head to the exhibit hall. And I know that they want to close up fairly quickly, and so in an orderly fashion, I guess you guys can all stand up. Thank you all for attending the banquet and attending Forum 79. We appreciate you, and thanks. Yeah, thank you.